Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Sauce. It's the backup channel backing Celeb up and bringing you all the breaking news. Hey yo, I want to give a quick shout out to my man Celebs. Listen, I'm sitting in my house on Christmas Eve and I turn on the TV and my man Celebs comes on and he reads us the Christmas story, and I was like, oh my goodness, what is happening right now? But I gotta tell you, it really added to my holiday. It was something that I enjoyed, and I think you'll enjoy it too. If you haven't seen it, check it out. And hey yo, Celebs, I'm gonna need you to send me one of those watches like you got. Alright, let's get into the news. As you all know, while we were all nestled in our beds with visions of sugar plums dancing in our heads, Daystar Peterson, aka Tory Lanez, spent his first Christmas in jail. Tory is currently being held in the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Men's Central Jail awaiting sentencing. And let me tell you, his story is a story of going from feast to famine, because on Christmas, Tory only had 4 ounces of roasted turkey, 4 ounces of mashed potatoes, 2 ounces of gravy, 1 ounce of cranberry sauce, 4 ounces of green beans, 1 cup of tossed green salad, a dinner roll, a pumpkin muffin, and some chocolate milk. Listen, like Tory's father, who called down fire and brimstone from the heavens and cursed Rock Nation and damned Jay-Z with the fervor of a televangelist. Many of you out there are not happy with the decision. A lot of people believe that there was so much reasonable doubt in the case that they can't understand how a jury could have possibly come to a definitive decision. For example, one person who believes that Tory Lanez is still innocent is his ex-girlfriend, Melly. After a whole bunch of people were contacting her about the verdict, Melly went on social media and wrote, quote, "Stop texting me. This is not no celeb to me. Hollywood-ish to me. Tory to you, Daystar to me. Stop texting me. For a witness to say he saw a woman shoot first and then the male take the gun and shoot in the air, that should have been all ninjas needed to know. He was lit, so he ain't do it taking out the magazine. But I stand on injustice. Unfollow me." End quote. Listen, her comment only highlights the fact that people are divided into 2 camps when it comes to the decision. But here's the thing though, none of us were in the courtroom, or at least most of us were not in the courtroom, so we don't know what was admissible. We don't know actually what was said. We don't know the full scope of evidence that the jury had to look at in order to deliberate and come to a conclusive decision. As it stands now, Tory is scheduled to return to court on January 27th, 2023 to find out how many of those 22 possible years he's going to get, and if he's going to be deported back to Canada. Now check this out. In the last tweet that Tory Lanez dropped before he was found guilty, Tory wrote, quote, "I'm going to leave this here one more time and watch how it ages. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against me in judgment shall be condemned. You sit and watch now, and don't ever question the God I serve again. This is my last tweet." End quote. Yeah, that's your last tweet, alright. But the question is, how long is that tweet gonna age? How long do you think Tory's gonna get? You think he's gonna get, a couple of months probation? Or is he gonna get the maximum of 22 years? Listen, I can almost guarantee you that Tory's gonna appeal the verdict, and we'll be back covering this hot mess again in a couple of months or maybe a few years. It ain't over. But let me say this real quick for all the young guys out there who may have a court appearance coming up. Whatever you do not follow Tory Lanez's lead. Do not rock the pastel pink suit with the turtleneck to court. Don't do it. Not a good look. I don't think juries like that very much. Seemed like he was sort of like peacocking and preening instead of really understanding the severity of what the case was about. You got him rocking the pinks and the purples. You got the stepmother. She's got on like a Tweety Bird outfit. I mean, it just looked weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, simple button down, some slacks, neutral colors. That's all you need. You can go with the tie, or you can leave off the tie. But listen, juries look at that. Juries look at how you present yourself. So you have to take all of that into consideration. And I know some of you are thinking, but Meg Thee Stallion had on a purple suit and Michael Jackson wore pajamas to court. Well, Meg Thee Stallion was a witness. She was not defending her freedom in court. And Michael Jackson is just Michael Jackson. I mean, what do you expect? But listen, you don't have to listen to me if you don't want to. You show up to court in a banana yellow suit and see what happens. Look, we may not like the justice system, but when you get caught up in that system, you better respect that system, because that system could take away your whole life. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking like the baby needs to quit rapping, and he needs to like create a course that teaches young guys how to beat the rap. Because I mean, this guy, I mean, he's off for murder, he's off for beating people down, he's off for everything. I mean, and he's just cheesing when he comes out of court. The baby knows how to do it. And for real, I don't even want to deal with this case anymore unless a Lifetime movie is done, because that I would love to see, and I can't wait. I actually hope that Lifetime is listening to me right now, because I'm going to need the People versus Tory Lanez Lifetime movie very soon, because that I want to see. Listen, while we're talking about the legal system, let's look and see what a person who's had a whole lot of contact with the criminal justice system has to say. Orenthal James Simpson, aka OJ, aka The Juice, recently did an interview in which he said, quote, "I'm a firm believer in the legal system. I think you could disagree with it, but either you're going to honor it or you're not going to honor it. I was convicted by a jury. I will question how in two trials, a civil trial and this trial, 24 jurors and not one was black that decided my outcome. That always kind of bothered me, but I do believe in the legal system." End quote. Well, if OJ says it, then it must be true. Oh my goodness. Listen, before O.J. Simpson got hemmed up for allegedly killing his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, O.J. wasn't studying no black people, and O.J. wasn't dating no black women, which we are so happy about. However, all of a sudden now, O.J. is concerned about the makeup of juries, okay? Because he doesn't see his black brothers and sisters over there making the determinations in the jury. Get out of here, O.J. But listen, during the interview, OJ also spoke about his time in prison, and OJ seems like he was having a bit too much fun in prison. Okay, he actually called it Prisneyland, and OJ was talking about how he was in there breaking up gang fights. He was like coaching the softball team. My man was like, you know, he was able to de-escalate beef in the prison because he bought everybody some ramen noodles. I can't with this dude. But what I really found interesting during the interview is OJ said that even though he was sent to prison for trying to steal his own stuff and he got the 9-year sentence, OJ said that after he got out of jail, he actually got his stuff back because the court ruled that it was his. Yo, I'm so confused right now. When speaking about the sports memorabilia and all the other stuff that he got locked up for stealing, OJ said, quote, "I got it. California ruled it was my stuff and they gave it to me. Most people don't know that, but it was my property." End quote. Listen, I don't even know if we can believe a word that OJ says, but he did say it. And I might add, there's a little bit of irony to this because when he said it, he was wearing a pink suit. Listen, I keep trying to tell you. Look, on the real, I can't imagine if I was arrested for stealing my own car, and then you put me in jail for stealing my own car, and then after I served 9 years in prison, I get out and you give me my car? I don't even want that ish anymore. Hey yo, on to the next story. Yo, did you know that Farrakhan had called for a boycott of Christmas this year? It was called the Up With Jesus, Down With Santa boycott. and it had a hashtag and everything. It was like hashtag boycott Christmas. Listen, Farrakhan said that Frederick Douglass said, quote, "The holidays are part and parcel of the gross fraud, wrong, and inhumanity of slavery. From what I know of the effect of these holidays upon the slave, I believe them to be among the effective means in the hands of the slave master in keeping down the spirit of insurrection. These holidays serve as conductors or safety valves to carry off the rebellious spirit of the enslaved humanity." End quote. Hey yo, how come I didn't know about this boycott until after Christmas and I spent all my money buying them kids Jordans and all types of stuff? Because had I known about this boycott, I'd have been like, listen, Frederick Douglass said, no toys for you. I'd have been sitting in my living room right next to the tree with a cup of hot cocoa and a candy cane with a corncob pipe in my mouth and a pair of crisp white Air Force Ones on. When anybody tried to come get a gift from me, I'd be like, up with Jesus, down with Santa. Listen, I don't know. I enjoy Christmas. And although I don't like the commercialization of Christmas, I think that if you keep it centered on what it's supposed to be centered on, it can be a wonderful and joyous holiday. Remember, in the book of John, Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." Not the tree, me. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did you boycott Christmas? Oh my goodness, it seems as if Bobby Shmurda has decided to weigh in on the Tory Lanez situation, and Bobby Shmurda seems to agree with Tory Lanez's father in that Rock Nation was behind the whole thing. In a recent social media post, Bobby Shmurda wrote, "These labels is nasty. Look what they just did to Tory. That ish is nasty. These are the same people that say they come from our lifestyle. These MFers playing dress up. Tory, Young Thug, I don't even want to be a rapper. This ish is crazy, and then MFers want to be artists." End quote. Listen, I don't understand what these people are saying. Are they saying that while the Escalade was parked on the side of the street and Megan Thee Stallion got out, Jay-Z got into the back seat of the Escalade and he shot her in the foot? And to make it even worse, that wasn't even Kelsey out there. That was Beyonce. Listen, if you're gonna make a claim, make it make sense, okay? I highly doubt Rock Nation was behind this whole thing. And let's just say they did tell Megan to press charges. That's not a conspiracy. That's just them telling her to press charges. You know what I'm saying? If my friend got shot in the foot, I would say you should press charges. You know what I'm saying? Look, we got to stop with all of this extra stuff, okay? Next, you're going to be saying that Rock Nation was behind the John F. Kennedy assassination. And a whole bunch of people are going to be out there like, yo, word, son. Yo, you heard? Yo, Jay-Z killed JFK. Listen, knock it off, okay? And a whole bunch of people are going to come in the comments and they're going to be like, yo, sis, you don't understand. Tory Lanez was independent and Rock Nation tried to sign him, but he ain't want to sign with them. Okay, no big deal, okay? I doubt that that's like the end-all be-all to Rock Nation. And I seriously doubt somebody was like, yo, he ain't signed with us? We got to get him locked up. And while we're on the subject of dumb-ish, it should not be new news to anyone that Lupe Fiasco and Kid Cudi do not like one another. According to Lupe, when he first met Kid Cudi, he gave him mad love, right? And Kid Cudi sort of gave him love back. But then Kid Cudi turned around and started talking behind his back and telling people that he was trying to swindle his fans and he was trying to rob his fans and that he was doing a whole bunch of dirty deals. So Lupe was like, yo, let me get this dude's number. And he was like, yo, if I ever see him in the street, I'm gonna bust him in his face. Well, needless to say, these two gentlemen have now been beefing for about 15 years. Well, Lupe Fiasco was recently online taking questions from some of his fans, and one of the people in the chat asked, quote, "We see some of the young guys saying stop the violence and squashing beef that had bloodshed. You and Cudi possibly somewhere down the line? Next," end quote. Well, in response to that question, Lupe responded, "Never. F him for life." Lupe continued on to say, quote, "Outside of his musical genius, fame, and success, Cudi is a real sneaky punk B.A.B. It's not even that controversial or spicy of a take. His personal resume outside of the spotlight is trash." Well, it appears that these two have not heard NBA YoungBoy's message to stop the violence. Listen, in 2023, we're supposed to be moving away from the negativity and moving towards positivity. Let me tell you something. I think a whole bunch of these young rappers need to go get evaluated to see if they have anger management problems. And if they do, they need to make getting a therapist their New Year's resolution. Because like they say, part of the solution is knowing that you have a problem. Well, somebody who may have a problem that can't be solved outside of the courts is Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. In a recent episode of Hip Hop Homicides, which aired on Thursday, Van Lathan was trying to investigate the murder of FBG Duck. And during the episode, they flashed an image of Mamo 600 on the screen, which implied that he had something to do with the murder. Well, he didn't like that very much, so he went online and he sent 50 Cent a message. Mamo said, quote, 50 Cent, I'm suing you for defamation of character. I don't have nothing to do with that. Somebody better explain something. You paid the wrong investigators. Don't put me in no murders, fam. Chasing clout. Exclamation point, exclamation point, end quote. I don't know. Do you think 50 Cent needs to hide that Stars money? Listen, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think this dude is legit and he really didn't have anything to do with it? Or do you think he's just trying to get a few coins from 50 Cent? Listen, this dude might know that they're using all types of media to put these guys away nowadays, and he might not want them to have hip-hop homicides for the jury to look at. Hey, yo, because he knows the jury will be back there watching that episode of Hip Hop Homicides with a bag of popcorn, and the next thing you know, he'll be locked up for life. You know how it is when you're watching those 50 Cent shows. Hey, yo, thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celebrity news. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Peace.